Hi, I'm Robert Lane, Backflow tester. I'm hanging out at my house in my garage on a Saturday, taking apart a bunch of these old bodies from the Wilkins 375 backflows that have failed. I've got a bucket full of them. I'm taking them apart. I like to look and see what made them fail, because a lot of people are like, well, I've had it for 13 years and nothing's ever been wrong with it, and I don't know why it's broken, and why does it cost so much to repair? I'm sorry, that's rude, but it's true. A lot of people, they might hope that this plastic stuff lasts forever, but it doesn't. One of the most common failures with the Wilkins 375 are these diaphragms. You see how it's like sort of smooth rubber on this side, but if we look at the other side, there's a you can see the cloth starting to show through. That's a real wear point on these diaphragms. And you say, well, just replace that. How much could it be? 10 cents? No. No. In order to get one of these, you have to buy the whole repair kit, which is like, I don't know what it is, if it's $100 or something. So, you know, if you're in that deep, you might as well just rebuild the whole thing, because there are other points of failure on the 375 that I'd like to show you. I saved a couple of these that were, you know, to go beyond when the diaphragm gets that cloth showing, what happens is the water soaks in, and then it expands, and then in the clearances of the device, it just can't move. So then it fails the test. You can't, whoops. You can't get this plunger assembly to open up and dump water when it's supposed to during the test. You know, at a certain point, if the differential pressure across the first check gets below 2.0, this thing is supposed to open up. The spring is supposed to overcome the high pressure water trying to close it, and it'll pop open and dump. So if this is expanded to the point where it can't move, then it fails the test. All right. And there are other points of failure on these things. These seats, there's these things in here called poppets. Let me grab a poppet. Okay, this is called a poppet, and there's a spring on the back which it closes a valve. The spring pushes it shut, and it pushes it shut against a seat. Let me show you a seat. This is the seat. I wish I had a camera person. Let me hold it with my knees. So this is the seat, and then this has a rubber thing in it, and boom, it closes. So the water's going this way. It pushes open the spring's over here, and you know, the water just goes through into your house. If the water starts to flow the other way, this poppet pushes down and closes. Well, other parts of the test, you know, require these to hold a certain pressure as well. And see this little ridge? I don't know if I can, yeah, see that little ridge, that little sharp edge circle that goes around here? This plastic, for some reason, is different than the body plastic, and it actually dissolves in time until you get a situation like this. See how this is smooth? Like right here, how it's smooth, and there's no edge to bite into the rubber and close it. So that happens. So inside your backflow, you have these ridges getting smoothed down to nothing so that your valves leak, and you have the rubber wearing off the fabric expanding, jamming your relief valve so it can't move, failing another part of the test. And then that's that. Nowadays, I recommend just getting a whole vessel. And I know it's pricey, you know. My current charge for this repair is $335, which is a lot compared to my discount rated backflow. But I suggest you save the money from using me for the test every year, and eventually, if this is your backflow, you need to buy a whole new body. And the advantage of that other than getting all new internals, is you also get the test cocks, which are the valves that come off of here. They look like this. And eventually they drip. They drip because crust gets formed on that ball, that silver center. And then you have to open them for the test. And then that crust bites into the plastic seat, and these also begin to leak. And you can fix that. You can put a fitting on here and a cap, and that's actually a good solution for a while if the cap has a gasket and can close tight. But eventually the O-rings, where this screw turns, there's an O-ring, and eventually that'll wear out and it'll start dripping directly from here, and then they're no good. So the advantage of getting the whole replacement of the vessel is they come with 3 new test cocks like this, and they're brand new. They start you at square one again, and they're clean and they're smooth, and you don't have any dripping. Anyway, I'm sorry they don't last forever. If they did, we wouldn't test them. But you know, eventually all these things are going to happen to your backflow if you're the owner of a Wilkins 375. So that's about it. If you have any questions, text me. It's always the best way to get a hold of me when you need a test or a repair. Thanks.